Welcome to another episode of Technical Earth Syndicate. If we were any better at fighting games, we'd still be pretty mediocre. I'm Michael Buffington.
And I'm Chris Stewart.
And this is episode 30 for July 19th, 2013. We also have a guest with us. Dun, dun, dun.
Hi, I'm a guest.
He doesn't have a name. He's just some guy we picked up on the street.
They told me they had candy.
No, this is Derek Skinner, one of our friends I've had for a very long time now. How long have we known you, Derek? For like
about 8 years, I think.
Close, yeah.
Almost.
Oh man!
If you're a fan of the videos, I was the one that really sucked at Left 4 Dead 2.
Oh yeah, we did some Battlefield videos of you and Left 4 Dead. So there we go. So yeah. Derek, you've been on our show before, just on video.
Yes.
Well, this show should be pretty interesting. But Chris, what have you been up to before we go into it?
Oh, I've been so busy.
No, you haven't.
No, not really. But I have been playing a lot of Project Cross Zone. I'm about halfway through the game, I guess, right now, and I'm enjoying it a lot. Yeah,
it's pretty long. I'm not that far in it, but it's a pretty good game. 3DS game for all those that don't know, but it's biggest crossover game I've ever played.
Yeah, it's the one with Namco and Capcom and Sega.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of the Shonen Jump one they did.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That never came out to the States, did it?
No, it never did.
That was more of a fighting game though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like a Smash Brothers Brawl type Shonen Jump.
Yeah, this one's like a Final Fantasy Tactics kind of thing.
Fire Emblem, yeah, its own little thing. It does have some kind of like fighting system in it, but it's a very little fighting system. It's either press this direction and A, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I've heard it plays pretty similar to the Super Robot Wars games, if people have played those.
Yeah, I've been losing my mind with the Steam sale, summer sale.
How much have you spent already?
I don't want to talk about it.
His wallet's gone into witness protection.
Damn you, Steam. But Derek, what have you been up to?
I have been getting caught up on old school gaming, getting more into playing games that I've had in my Steam list for a long time and have just never gotten the chance to load them up. A lot of KOTOR, Alan Wake, stuff like that.
Alan Wake is not an old game.
Well, it's not old, but it's been in my list for a bit.
Yeah,
it's old in video game years.
This is true. That came out 3 months ago. It's on Social Security.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same thing that we've been doing. I just started Lost Odyssey yesterday, so that game's like 75 years old in video game years.
That one's really old. That came out in 06, 07?
Yeah, it's the last game I've got, though, before I can finally get rid of my Xbox.
Yeah. Well, today on the show, we're going to be talking about the Xbox a little bit. The Xbox One.
It's been pretty crazy since E3. They made quite a few changes.
Also, on top of that, we're going to be talking about early access games, like paying for games before they're actually out, like alpha stages and beta stages. We're going to be talking a little bit about that. For Alan's Tech Corner, we're going to be talking about the Oculus Rift and new artificial heart. Chris knows more about that, so it should be a pretty good show. All right, on Topic Tack today, we have a lot of information for the most part for the Xbox One. Chris, why don't you go ahead and go into this?
Well, Xbox One has had a pretty rocky, start ever since back in February when they announced the thing. It's been pretty much negative PR since day one. And, with all the stuff that they were going on about with 24-hour check-ins and, you can only trade a game once, and it's just been a bad time.
The internet fought back with GameStop apparently too.
Yeah.
I heard like the internet, everyone really didn't like what they're doing with it. All the old fans, and then also GameStop told them they're probably not going to sell their system if they did that. I heard some rumors of that from official sources. I'm not giving names. It's actual people that work there. So
yeah.
From what I understand, the trade-in, they were only going to allow it through certain validated retailers anyway.
Right.
And GameStop
unless
wasn't one
GameStop was going to be on that list, then there was no point in them even selling the system or their games.
Well, anyway, they changed all that. So Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, basically all of that stuff that people have been complaining about since the beginning, they just went ahead and did away with all of it. They took out the 24-hour online check-ins. Now you only have to like when you first set up your system, you only have to connect one time, and then from then on you can play offline as long as you want. So awesome stuff there.
That's what it should have been.
Yeah, it really should have been that way. But trading games, renting, selling, to friends, you can let your friends borrow them, like your disc-based games. Just like you can today on the Xbox 360, you can do all that stuff. There's no more region lock on there, so people in Argentina, I think, were having problems because they weren't going to be able to play the games.
Even the UK, some of them want to buy American games because it's cheaper and stuff like that, and they get screwed over too. So this will help out with that.
Yeah, well, the region lock is gone.
The biggest problem with the region lock was not so much buying a game from another country as it was if you took your Xbox to another country, such as Chris, if you get deployed, then it wouldn't work. It just flat out wouldn't work. It wouldn't allow you to connect. But thankfully, they've addressed that, like you guys said.
Yeah.
Now, in the last couple of weeks, they've been some new developments. You can, after you buy a digital game or while you're installing your disc-based game, you can play that game as it's installing or while it's downloading from the servers, just like PS4.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
And there's going to be a new reputation system. And it's kind of similar to what Marvel vs. Capcom 3 does, where if you rage quit a whole bunch, then you just get grouped in with rage quitters. And so if you're going to be going around trash talking in games and just being a pain in the ass, then they're going to group you up with other pains in the asses. Which
I kind of don't like because people falsely report you for stuff on Xbox. And like on my last time I checked, I had -6% on my profile because someone just didn't like my name on there or whatever.
Well, I would think, and I hope that they would go into some pretty heavy detail and looking into people's complaints. And, if it's something that's a big problem with you and you're getting a whole lot of complaints, then that's probably what they're going to look at.
Yeah, but I mean, let's say 20 people falsely report on somebody's profile, then that person gets stuck in to a list of people that act like that too. So you could technically get screwed over from that. I hope they don't implement that. Actually,
just imagine a gaming clan, all of them ganging up.
Yeah, I don't think that this is the right step of doing that. It works for fighting games, but not a console. So
there's probably still going to be ways they're going to work on it, and I don't think there's a whole hell of a lot of information on it just yet. They just recently announced it on the 4th this month, I think. So there's probably still more info to come out.
But one good thing about that, at least when you start up the game, you're not going to have any 12-year-olds on there, yelling racial epithets at you because they're all already going to be in the bottom.
True.
Something that's pretty cool with the new Kinect, they're going to be able to scan the QR codes, and so you're not going to have to type in all your codes that you get, like when you buy Xbox Live Gold.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to have to type all that stuff in with the controller anymore. You can just have it take a picture with the Kinect.
I think that's one of the best things they've done so far as the changes that they're doing to the Xbox One.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I always hate typing in the codes, even on PlayStation, but I prefer my keyboard. But having a camera be able to scan that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Pretty much the typing thing is the only reason I bought the little keyboard that you connect to the controller.
Yeah.
But the changes aren't all good. The family sharing plan that they announced to begin with, where you could share your digital games with up to 10 friends, they axed that along with the 24-hour check-ins and all that. But there are hopes to bring it back at a later date.
What I'm really worried about, all this is good information for Xbox One fans, but I still have not heard one detail about a price on Xbox Gold.
Yeah. Well, I
I'm
don't
thinking it's
imagine
probably
it's
still
going
going to
to
be the
change.
same.
No, I've been hearing rumors flip flopping about it being more than $60 now. You know, like they're not clear on it, and no one's really asking about it too. So maybe we should be asking that to Microsoft. Maybe we can get an answer. I don't know. I would actually be interested because I think if it's more than $60, that's ridiculous for the gold subscription, honestly. So
Yeah, especially when PlayStation Plus is $50 per year.
yeah, and has a lot more better features.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, that's all the information we know on the Xbox One that's been updated since E3. I know it's been a while since we actually did a podcast. I think almost a month now. So that was a lot of information in between that. So
Yeah, but I gotta say, it's very rare that I get a chance to say this, but I am pretty proud of the gaming community and of the internet in general because you stood up and said, "Hey, this is bullshit. We're not going to put up with it. So either change it or we're not having your system." And they listened for once.
So. It wasn't just the internet though; it was a lot of retailers like GameStop. And as much as GameStop is an evil company, they still need to make money, and they're not solely focused on just selling used games, even though that's what they kind of do. But they still have to sell hardware, and most gamers go to GameStop for hardware, such as the PlayStations or the Xboxes or whatever.
Yeah, and it's good news for like GameFly and such too.
Oh, GameFly and Best Buy and everything like that. So I mean that's good. I do not like all the back pedaling and forward pedaling nonstop with Microsoft right now. They're still on my shit list for that. So, but that's just how I view it. But anyway, let's go ahead and get on with our main discussion today: early access games. Who's guilty of buying an early access game? I think we all are.
Yeah, definitely.
It all started out kind of. I mean, it's always been kind of around, funding and stuff like that. Oh, you're buy this early alpha release, but it really started with Minecraft. Honestly.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
Minecraft, when Mojang and Notch came out with freaking Minecraft Alpha, which it had nothing hardly.
But it was still great.
Yeah, it was still good. And it was basically it's a sandbox game you build. If anybody that doesn't know about Minecraft, look it up. Seriously. Minecraft is a very cool, old school looking retro kind of game where you build stuff and quests and you name it. But it started out with that, and alpha funding really started to boom right after that. Especially with the client that's kind of like Steam called Desura. That's how you pronounce it. Have you guys messed with that?
I have not.
They started out doing like mods and stuff like that, but then a lot of indie developers went to them instead of Steam because Steam still requires you to do a check-in system of, oh, well, we can't put your game on right now because there's a gigantic list of indie games going on Steam and you're at the back end of it. And that's kind of why Steam did Greenlight to help with that as well. But Desura actually lets any indie developer put their game on there in a heartbeat. There's no waiting period. You can just put it on there, sell it, make money. They may get a cut out of it. But that's where a lot of the early access games started. Besides Minecraft doing their own thing where you buy it off their website, and there's been others. I don't really have names for them, but you could have done that as well. But the whole thing with early access is you can play it before the actual game is out. They have that idea, and they're like, here's the alpha for now. Play that, and then we'll update it slowly. Yeah,
and usually you get it at a cheaper price than what the final price would be too.
Right. Like Minecraft, when it first came, Derek was like $5, right?
I think it was 8 by the time I jumped on.
Okay, but
like, still an amazing deal for a game that's now what, $30?
Right. No, it's 25. I bought it at full price because at that point I refused to buy any game that was an alpha.
Despite me trying to get you to.
Yes, I know. I could have saved so much money. Blah 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 blah.
I actually didn't even get into Minecraft until the Xbox version came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But Desura kind of like added a lot of stuff, and I bought a couple games from it. Not many, just a few, like Project Zomboid and what was it, Edge of Space. I bought that recently, and that was cool. Steam started early access in March of 2013, which was just a few months ago, you know. And their whole thing was wanting to get some of these indie developers or people that have been on Kickstarter and stuff like that to, you know, be able to fund their game within Steam and still be able to play it, get your hours clocked or whatever. So that was very cool. And it all started with Greenlight, which Greenlight started last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Somewhere on there.
Greenlight is like we've talked about this on the show before. You fund or you the community picks what games they want on Steam, and the list gets updated. And you know it's a slow process, but it works. But this helps out with them because not only do they have the alpha versions of the game, they could put that on Steam now if it gets picked for Greenlight. They don't have to worry about anything, and people can actually fund it that way, so they can make money and actually pay their employees that are working on the game. So, we've Chris and I have bought a few early access games recently, mostly me, but I've bought Edge of Space, Project Zomboid, and here's one we all bought, and I can't believe we bought it. Is the War Z?
It sounded so good.
It sounded so good. I played the first 10 hours, and it was very cool, but then the developers were really shady. They kind of stole our money, honestly.
I could think of a different SH word to start with.
Yeah. But recently they just changed the name from the War Z because they got in legal trouble apparently to Infestation Survivor Stories.
Also, it conveniently erases their previous bad rep.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was. I was like, what game is this? This is another zombie game? I was like, son of a bitch. So, I haven't had many early access horror stories, but the War Z was definitely one of them. It kind of made me almost want to swear off from buying early access games again.
It is definitely a lesson in how not to do it.
And then Edge of Space, I bought that, and it was a little bit of a disappointment, but I've recently played it, and they've really did some wonders with that game. It's kind of like Terraria in a way. So it's a little bit like it, but not as great. But that's changed up a bunch. And then another one I had was Under the Ocean, which is another sandbox building game, kind of like, you survive and you build stuff. That one's okay. It was like $5. I try to support the big one that I got, and I gave a free alpha passes away when I bought it, was Arma 3, which is usually what a AAA company, isn't it? I mean, it's still like a indie company, but they sell like AAA pretty much, games do. Arma 2 is good, and Arma 3 was put on, delay because the two guys that went to prison, right?
Yeah.
But I funded that, and that's been worth it because they're not in alpha anymore. They're actually updating it to beta, and they're going to be releasing later on this year. So, Derek, have you bought any more early access games, or just War Z?
There's one that I'm wanting to get. I haven't quite gotten the chance to do it yet. It's StarMade.
StarMade? Okay.
It's a Minecraft open world, style where you're actually in space. You build your own spaceship and everything like that.
StarMade?
Yeah, and you go to these little planets. Yeah, look it up. Dude. It looks really, really good. I think it's probably going to be hell on my system because it randomly generates each of these different worlds as you approach them.
Is it all in 3D?
It's all in 3D.
Okay, because there's another one called Starbound.
It's the same graphic vector, like Minecraft and Cube World and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
But it looks like it's combining the best aspects of both of those, plus in space.
Okay. I actually think I've seen this before. Yeah, that's pretty cool. There's another one called Starbound that's more like Terraria, Minecraft, and a hack and slash crazy game. I don't even know what it is. It's pretty cool.
It looks like a cross between like Minecraft and Zelda, Harvest Moon, all kinds of craziness.
That is not an early access game. You could have funded it, and it had a Kickstarter, and you could fund it, but they're not releasing it as early access, and so that kind of defeats the purpose of this conversation now.
There are some Kickstarters though that are doing that, where you can get the alpha.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. A big one that just now recently came out was Cube World, and Chris and I picked this up.
And I desperately want to.
It is a Zelda type game that looks like 3D Dot Heroes from PlayStation 3 mixed in with like World of Warcraft elements, not as an MMO, but like the kind of way they do the classes and the crafting and everything like that. It's really cool. And it's an alpha, and I can't believe to say it's an alpha because it looks like it's in beta. So when beta hits, what is this game going to be? You know, that's a very good game. So it's a 4-player co-op game, and that's a good experience. That's like the best thing I've ever, early access besides, that's it. Arma 3 is another one that's pretty good, but Cube World takes the gauntlet.
Are they still having trouble with the hackers messing with them?
No. You can buy the game now, no problems. You can make accounts.
For like 2 days, I think.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that seems like a lot, but you consider, this seemed like a really concerted effort. So they did a good job on battling it out.
Yeah,
dude, for a 2-person team, it's pretty amazing.
I think they got help from Mojang because the guy worked or is working for Mojang right now, and this is his baby project. Yeah. So I didn't really get
that's cool.
Straight up things. He either worked there before, so he knows Notch and all of them, or he does work there currently off and on. But yeah, him and his wife are making this game called Cube World, and I can't believe what they've done with it. It's amazing. So very talented people. Now with the Steam sale going on, I kind of bit some bullets, and I've bought some really weird games, space games, you name it. I've been in a big space mood, so I bought this game called Kinetic Void. It's an early access game. Got it for $6. It's originally $20. It's a space sim game where you build your own spaceship and you fly it around. That's all you can do right now in alpha. It's supposed to have missions, you can battle, but it's supposed to be a pure space sim where you get to navigate, you get to navigate a spaceship. Think, big, what's it called? European Trucker, where you have to. All right. But yeah, it's a pretty fun game. It's very empty right now, and there's more to come with it, honestly. So buying it for $5 on a $20 early access, hopefully they do more with it. Maybe they won't, and I just get to play what I have right now. Hopefully that's not the case. So. But I mean, what are you guys' experiences of early access? Is it a yay or a nay on should developers keep on doing this to make us happy, or is it turning into more of a kind of a bad thing too, where we're wasting a lot of money and we don't know if we're going to be getting these games fully complete like they say they are, like the War Z.
Yeah, like there's this good and bad with it. Like we said, the War Z or Infestation survivor stories now. It's that's definitely the example of how not to handle a early release game. But I think a lot of people are just seeing, hey, Mojang with Minecraft, they had ridiculous success with it, and so they're saying, hey, we'll let you try this out, and we're gonna keep updating it, and get the discounted price and all that. So there is good and bad, but it's
mostly like good right now.
Yeah, mostly it's good. And the main problem that I have, and it's the same with like the Kickstarters and stuff, is you're giving these people your money and you're kind of trusting them to continue on with this game. And
it's like gambling.
Yeah,
video game gambling.
It's very much gambling.
I mean, that company that made Starbound, I gave them $20 because I was like, I literally threw money at my screen and they absorbed it. So. It's stuff like that. I know they're going to complete because they got such a huge fan base. But then again, the War Z or Infestation Survivor, War Z, whatever. They did that and they got a big community there. Everyone was like, "Oh man, this game looks awesome! This game looks awesome!" And
it did. To be fair, it really did. It was a very good.
And then they were like, "Hey, yeah, screw you guys. We took your money and we don't give a crap right now."
Yeah. See, I've only had the experience so far with 2 games, so for me, it's definitely a 50-50 as far as what I've experienced personally. The good side obviously with Mojang and Minecraft, which turned out to be, honestly, I play probably 30 hours of it a week, and then Infestation, which I haven't even loaded it on my system for 3 months.
Since we first all got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it was bad
that's
because
the
we
only-
all bought it, and then like seriously, like 3 weeks later, everything went to shit with that company. So
Yes.
it
yeah,
was
they changed a whole bunch of stuff, and it was just a bad time.
yeah.
I think they
So-
changed it to where you had to pay to respawn, and
Yes.
it was like at first it was what 24 hours you had to wait, and then they changed it to 2 days.
Yeah, like if your character
Yes.
died and there was the servers were hacker ridden, like no one was doing correct program, they wouldn't let you go onto a server with just your friends. They were
Yeah.
like, "Well, you're gonna have to pay for this now," and
I
I'm
think
like,
they were just randomly banning people left and right too, and they
Yep.
would complain about it.
"Yeah, yeah."
And
They
if you
were
complained on the forums, they would ban you from the server and stuff
Yep.
like that
Yep.
too.
so that game just stay away from it, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only game that I actually have spent money on, and that's why I'm kind of, wary about these kind of early access games. I think you bought me Cube World, Mike,
Mhm.
and I think you bought me Minecraft too.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the only one I spent my own money on, and so I'm a little bit worried about it. But
Project Zomboid for me kind of burned me when I bought it. It's only because they lost the majority of the files, so they're having to rebuild the game or whatever. But I gave them money, and it wasn't that much. It was like $10. But they haven't done too much with it. I know they've been updating it slowly, but I kind of wish it was a little bit faster.
yeah,
But as long as that game's been in development, and some of these other ones I'm worried about. Arma 3, not worried about. I'm not worried about that game at all. Soon enough we're gonna have another zombie game attached to it. The DayZ 2 or something.
Yeah.
Cube World, I am not really worried about because I'm happy with what I have right now. If they decide to stop developing it, I'm okay with it actually. Maybe not as much as I would like to be, but the game is pretty solid already, so I'm happy. Connect Void for me, I want more. It's more or less I kind of gave them money to say, hey, here you guys go. So
Yeah.
I take the gambles on those more often than any of my friends. So
Do you think that Mojang's going to try this with Scrolls?
I think Scrolls is well enough in development that they're just going to release it and it's going to sell.
Yeah.
Honestly, because I know it's already it's in beta right now, isn't it?
Is it already?
I think so. I don't even
Gosh.
think it's an alpha anymore, but yeah.
yeah. I think
That was
I think
quick.
Mojang already has enough of a reputation that they don't need to do the early access thing, and then
Yeah.
they're just going to put it out there when it's done, and it's going to sell like hotcakes.
Yep. I mean, the Humble Bundle thing, they had a Mojang bundle that they're coming out where
Yeah.
it was a week or no, like 3 days of them developing games or something like that. Or they had a very short period of time. And dude, everyone bought it. I even did because I was just like, sure, make a new game. I don't care, But so, I mean, there's companies you have to worry about. It's a gamble, and just make sure you really, really look over the game and ask your friends. Make sure you have had somebody that's played one of these games before you decide to buy it. Cube World, I didn't know anybody that bought it, so I was that one person. Now everyone knows. So, any last thoughts about it? Even a few, Derek?
I'm not completely put off of the pre-sales stuff like
Yeah.
this, but again, it is very much every time you choose to do one, it is a gamble, and you need to make sure you understand that and you're accepting that there's going to be risks. There's always the chance, even with developed companies,
Yeah.
that something happens and the game never comes out. Yada yada yada. So just understand it is always a risk. I'm not trying to distract you or discourage you from
Yeah.
it, rather, but to understand that things happen.
Yep. But you can
Yeah.
look for early access games on Desura, just on people's websites in Steam. Steam has a lot of legit stuff for the most part. So
Yeah.
check it out though. I mean, if you're into indie games, it's definitely a good way to support your small teams of developers. But next up, we got Alan's Tech Corner. All right, on Alan's Tech Corner today, we have a lot to talk about. We have the Oculus Rift, and Chris, you have something special for us. Was it the Cyborg Cow Heart?
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
There's a new mechanical, there's a new artificial heart, but I'm going to be getting into that in a little bit.
Yeah. First off, we're going to talk about why we have Alan's Tech Corners because of Alan, obviously. People that are new listeners that don't know Alan, he was our co-host, and he passed away last year. This is kind of marking on July 14th last year, he died. So we're kind of going to do a little shout out for him. I don't want to depress everybody, but he was a great guy. So we plan on having something special for his birthday on August 2nd. So look forward to that show. But yeah, I just wanted to remind everybody that, you know, he's the inspiration for this show and he keeps us motivated for the most part. And even though we've been slacking off hardcore with this show. But this kind of marks a year. So if you still want to listen to all his podcast, what was it, episodes 1 through 13?
Yeah. Well, 2 through 13.
Oh, 2 through 13. Yeah. So he was on I think 10 or 11 episodes of our show.
Yeah.
So those are still up on iTunes and RSS feed and everything. Definitely listen to them. Now, a lot of that information is dated, but it's nice to hear his voice sometimes. So, but if anybody's been following the show from the longest time, we really appreciate how long you've stuck it out with us too. So, but yeah, well, look forward to our Alan Gray awesome birthday episode that we're going to be doing on his birthday. So, all right, Oculus Rift. Who knows about that?
I do a little bit.
A little bit
about it. Yeah,
I've been following this for a while. It started out on Kickstarter, and no one really knew anything about it at all. So, basically, it's a virtual reality unit. When you think of that, you're like, oh crap, virtual reality, seriously? That's like 90s, you know.
But it never really came through.
Yeah, it really didn't. And this is a stepping stone for it to actually make it to our houses without it being really gimmicky and crappy, you know. But the Kickstarter started off on August 1st last year, 2012, to September 1st. It ended. It had 9,522 backers, which that's a lot, and even more right now. I don't know the total number, but you can pre-order it on their site. But there was a goal of $250,000. That was it. That was the goal, to fund the Oculus Rift. It ended up making $2,437,400. Did I read that right? Crap. No, I didn't.
Yes, yeah, you did.
Okay.
Just say 2.4 million. It's easy.
Yeah, there we go. 2.4 million. Okay. $2.4 million. So they made a lot of money. I mean, just that's ridiculous. That's more money than anybody can ask for from everyone that funded it. So,
Yeah.
Did you guys, or Derek, you're kind of new to it. So what do you kind of think about it, like as a virtual reality kind of unit? Did you watch any of the videos or anything like that?
I did. I'm not sure on it. Like, I think it's a very, very cool idea. And thankfully, it doesn't look like it's going to be an utter piece of gigantic waste of ass like the Nintendo 3DS, or not 3DS, the Virtua Boy was.
Ooh, yeah, the Virtua Boy.
Because I'm sorry, but it's still just, when I see it, that's the image I get in my head, was that Virtua Boy, and it was awful. But from what I'm seeing, it looks like it's actually going to be good. I just think, for me personally, I don't think I would be able to adjust to playing it.
Well, a lot of people, I've watched a lot of videos of people trying it out, and they're very disoriented when they first play it, but then you're really just sucked into the world. And what it does is it just makes you feel like you're seriously in Skyrim or Half-Life or anything like that. I was watching some guy do it in Skyrim, and it looked crazy. Of course, you could only see the two screens on the monitor because that's what you're viewing, but he was seeing a whole new world, and he actually said he felt cold in a winter storm. And combining that with an awesome headset and like especially like a noise canceling headset, dude, you're in another world and you're not leaving. Some people have gotten motion sickness is because you really have to get used to this. Some people are just baffled on what they're seeing. They don't really understand it. I saw videos. I think
I would probably be one of them.
Yeah,
it would be too overwhelming for me.
Now, a lot of people are saying that, a cool experience of it is like a controller in your hand because you don't have to fumble around on a keyboard and mouse. It's easier to use a controller. That way you know where all the buttons are for the most part. Now, some people are like, oh, I know where all the buttons are on the keyboard and mouse. Sometimes you look down, you know it. So basically it's more appealing to first-person shooters right now. You can do other games, but I mean, a third-person shooter, you have a TV strapped to your head then.
Yeah.
With first-person shooters like Skyrim and Half-Life and let's say Battlefield, whenever they decide to, make it fully functional with it, you would feel like you're in a war zone. You would feel like you're in, a winter storm, a dragon fight, you name it, or riding in the back of a dragon. I mean, it feels more real than anything. Like I saw, Chris, did I show you that video with the guillotine?
Oh, no, I actually never got a chance to watch any of the videos.
They had a guilloutine simulation with the Oculus Rift. Someone developed it.
Why would someone it
was more of an experience to kind of freak out the person. So they put earphones on them, so they're hearing all the noises. They had the virtual reality unit on their face, and they sat them down, but on a chair. But they made them, lay on the chair with their chest. So it was like you were on a guillotine stand. And so what would happen is, you could look around because it has that ability to, what is it called? Gyroscopic features where you can look around and you're like moving your head and everything. So the guy's looking, you could see on the computer screen, he was looking at the executioner and he was like, oh crap. And you hear all the sounds of sharpening and, then you hear that swing. But what was really mean, his friends took their hand and judo chopped their neck right as the guillotine hit them.
Sounds like the beginning of a 90s horror flick involving technology.
That person flipped. I mean, that's how real it seemed to them. I mean, the graphics weren't that real, but it seemed real. They were in that world, Yeah. So having something that could do that is unlike any other virtual reality system out there, especially if the gyroscopic, like you're moving around with your mouse, you're moving your head now, So if you want to look down, you're looking down, So
there's some company now that's working on a porn adventure game with the Rift.
Yeah, there's a 3D porn cinema. I think that's what it was called or something. Yeah. So
of course.
I think everyone's that is listening to this, if they're on the computer, that are typing that in right now. I'm definitely getting this.
So you want me to check out too?
Yeah. If you're into that, that's kind of, I don't know, that's really weird. That's going to happen either way. There's going to be dating sims on this thing.
I'll go ahead and try it out for science. I'll let you know how it is.
Yeah. Okay.
I think the defining characteristic of a successful technology is once porn starts coming to it.
I want a review on this, Chris, whenever that hits. Right now, they had some trouble with the company. Not bad trouble. It was one of their co-founders passed away. Andrew, was it Reese? Reese? Oh, you see that?
Reese Rice. I'm not sure.
Okay. Andrew Reese, co-founder. He was killed. He was actually in a not a drive-by. He got hit by a car, but it was from a gang member or something like that. But
yeah, I think the guy was like robbing a store or something, and he was driving the getaway car and just happened to be in the wrong place.
He was one of the main co-founders. Now it's not going to completely, stop everything, but it put some stuff on halt real quick, like development of getting these out. But that was some tragic news of that company, which I know it's so little and minor, but it was a co-founder of it. And man, that really stinks, So So basically, they had a little bit of a hiatus for a month, funeral preparations and everything like that. But they've been pumping out, and it's been the most wanted virtual reality unit ever created. I mean, everyone's flipping out about it. It's going to be there's no price set on it, but the development kit you can actually still pre-order and get it. You're going to be waiting in a line though, digital line, of course. But it's $300, so they're wanting to shoot for under that for the actual release, which that's pretty cheap, honestly, for what you're getting.
For a fully functional headset with gyroscopic, everything like that. I mean, yeah, that's
Yeah.
not bad at all.
They said if you're not a developer, try to not buy it because you're going to be, if as a consumer, you're going to want the full thing. As a developer, development kit is the best thing you can get, and then later on, you might be able to buy the real thing, So, for a cheaper price or something. I saw something like that, but there's no price set for the public on release. But they did say it's possibly going to come out this year, so that's good news. I definitely want it. I'm along with Google Glass, but I think using that as a monitor for myself, sitting down in my computer chair would be fantastic. I would really escape to a world, I think. So,
yeah, I think something like that paired up with something like the PlayStation Move motion controller, and then I think there was actually a video that I did see where I think he's playing Minecraft or something, but he's running around on like some kind of treadmill kind of
thing,
deal.
Yeah,
and he's got the headset on and he's like running around in this world. I think something like that with all of that stuff put together would just be ridiculous.
Yeah,
I did. A guy was talking about playing Minecraft with this thing, and he actually said it was the most unreal experiences he's ever, imagined. When you're playing Minecraft, you don't realize how big things are in games. You're just like looking at the monitor, you're like, oh, okay, I'm building this, right?
Yeah.
When you're actually in that, you kind of have this weird feeling where you see, like, say, your friend built this gigantic castle in Minecraft or something. You're looking up at it and you're like, "Holy crap!" Like, yeah, that's
imagine
huge.
going into the Westeros Craft servers where they're completely rebuilding the Game of Thrones.
Yeah, like stuff like that. You're gonna freak out because of how big everything is, and when you're on a monitor, you're not really thinking about that. But with your eyes playing the same tricks that you would see as a normal human looking at a giant castle, you're gonna feel the same way, dude. In a game, I don't really feel that way, and I kind of want that actually. So like Valve is a big supporter of the Oculus Rift. And they're talking about implementing it into all their games. Think Left 4 Dead, dude. How scary would that be?
Ugh.
That's a real horror experience.
I'm going to pass on that one.
Are you sure?
I'm going to pass on that and any game involving spiders. I'm not playing it on that.
Oculus Rift. Virtual reality spider simulation. So, I mean, you get a good idea of what it's going to be. Look online. There's a bunch of YouTube videos of people playing the Oculus Rift, and of course, you're not going to really get to experience it, but you get to see the reactions of what they're feeling like they're doing. Like, there's this old woman that was using it, and she could not believe what she was seeing. Man, like, she was freaking out about it. She was like, "Am I in the real world?" It's a cool thing, and it's a cool escape from reality. I think everybody needs a digital vacation sometimes. So maybe that could be it. Now, I could see a lot of people absorbing their whole lives into this too because they don't like reality. But who likes reality? But there's a few games that they're supportive of right now: Arma 2, Doom 3, BFG. Half-Life 2, Team Fortress 2, and there's a lot more. There's a huge list of games. There's a lot of first-person shooters. Someone actually did Mirror's Edge too.
Oh, I bet that's crazy.
Wow. They said it was kind of like they kind of got sick from doing it because you're running and jumping and parkouring everywhere.
Oh man, playing that on that treadmill thing would be I don't know.
Yeah, you'd have to be fit to do it. It's playing a first-person shooter like Call of Duty or something like that on with that treadmill thing.
Oh man, or even
you
Battlefield.
play for 3 minutes and you're done. That's it. You just can't even breathe anymore.
I just don't know what it would even feel like, even playing like Battlefield 3 or something, looking around at the huge battlefield, just feeling like you're small, like that would be cool. I'm really excited for this. I will probably be picking one up when on release, as long as it's not gonna be over $300, honestly. Because I have a PS4 to get, damn it. Why is cool things always making me want to spend all the money? But from everything that you guys have seen, what do you guys kind of think about it? Like, I know Derek, you said that you're gonna be kind of like, you don't know yet.
I'm excited for it. I think it's an awesome technology. It's literally just I don't know how well I personally am going to be.
Is it intimidating?
It is very intimidating to me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little wary of it, and more about how I'm going to be able to adjust to it. Just me personally. I think.
But I mean,
technology is awesome.
Wouldn't it be so cool to, like, how we hang out in an MMO, like say you and me hang out in an MMO, that's cool. But what if we were playing Borderlands together and really felt like we were really playing Borderlands together in a sense, it's like that adds that extra element. Or even Minecraft or anything that's a first person view kind of adds that element where you're like, hey, I'm hanging out with my buddy now, like
it's gonna be a great technology. And I am very interested in it, even though I'm a little nervous about it. But
I'm going to learn how to make a game, and then I'm going to tell you as one thing, and then it's just going to be spiders everywhere.
That's horrible.
Yeah, I figured that out. Yeah,
he's never going to want to.
Well, thanks for telling me your plan. You just completely ruined it.
I'm just worried that I might get motion sickness with it. I don't think I will, but I just playing long periods of time, I hope I don't have the same effect that I have with like 3D where I feel sick afterwards, But I mean, if you get used to it, probably will work out pretty good. Chris, what are your views on it?
I'm really excited about it. I hope that like mainly for first person shooters and that kind of thing, I hope that they come out with some kind of like the Power Glove, I guess, that would connect to it, and so you don't have to use the mouse to kind of aim. You can just use your hand, and that would kind of help.
With your head, wouldn't you?
Well, you would look around with your head and kind of aim with your hand, kind of like what was it called? The motion leap that they showed off when they were playing Half-Life 2 with it. He was aiming with his hand.
As long as you had some kind of buttons, I guess, for swinging, like in both hands or something.
Maybe like a gun, like a old super scope or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, they do have this thing that's we can get it onto another show. It's another tech piece. It's this gyroscopic gun thing that actually feels like a gun, like for a first person shoot, but it acts like a mouse. So it's really interesting. And then there's also this body suit that you can actually. Do you remember those old Rumble suits that you could wear? Like yeah, you remember those. Well, there's one that's more precise. Like you get hit with a bullet, it kind of gives you this impact, this pressure sense on your chest and stuff like that. So combine that with the Oculus Rift, and you might have a heart attack or something. I don't know, man, because that's insane. I don't want to feel.
Future is now.
I don't want to feel completely like I'm in a game. So if I'm getting hit with a sword, I don't want to feel like I'm about to die.
Don't worry, you'll respawn.
Yeah, imagine a hunter in Left 4 Dead jumping on you wearing that thing.
Oh my god!
Oh man, a charger would be even worse.
Yeah,
you'd probably die.
So that's cool stuff. Look up Oculus Rift if you're interested as a developer and you're listening to our show. Fund it, because you might want to get your next first-person shooter game or whatever onto it, and people will really, really like it, because this thing's going to sell so many. There's also no word from them coming to console, so it's a PC exclusive thing only, which is fine. So they said eventually they might bring it to like new generation of consoles or something. So next up we have what was this, Chris? You're talking crazy again.
Well, fans of our show know we always like to delve into the medical technology kind of thing, like prosthetic limbs and what have you. So now they have a new artificial heart that's getting ready for human testing pretty soon, or I think it's actually ready now, but it's got cow parts in it.
Cow parts?
Cow parts. It's it's been developed by this Paris-based company called Carmat for the last 15 years. So they've been working on it for a while.
Like, elaborate on cow parts, because I'm getting a bad image in my head right now.
Well, we've got artificial hearts right now, and they're pretty much all like artificial, like plastic kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
And so those parts, they come in contact with the human blood. They've had problems with like clotting, and you'll have to take all kinds of anticoagulants so that your blood doesn't clot from coming in contact with the plastic.
Oh, okay.
So what they've done with this one is they have membrane tissue from the pericardial sac of a cow heart, and those parts are what comes in contact with the human blood.
Now, are they using stem cells as well?
I don't think they're using stem cells with it.
Okay, because I know they've been developing some human organs with stem cells, and actually making them functional has been the hard part. So
yeah, but the heart has it's got two chambers in it, and they're divided by the membrane. And the membrane has the cow part that I was talking about on one side of it that comes in contact with the blood, and then on the other side of it is like a polyurethane, and that is in contact with some little miniature pumping system with like motors and hydraulic fluids and stuff, and that is what causes the heart to kind of pump and send the blood out through the body.
Holy crap!
Yeah, it's cool stuff. It's powered by 2 lithium-ion batteries that you wear them externally, and you can put them like in an arm holster or on a belt or whatever you want to do with it.
It's like a cyborg heart rather than a robot
pretty
heart.
Much.
It's got the cow biological functions and stuff like that.
Yeah, biotechnology, cool stuff. But the main goal that they have, their goal is they want this heart to last for up to 5 years in a human body, and they're getting ready to start on human testing right now.
Huh. That's scary, but also really cool. Like,
yeah, it really
if
is.
it can save somebody that's as a bad heart or anything like that, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, and it's really good for like people who are like getting on waiting lists for like a donor heart. So instead of having like the completely artificial heart, and they'll have to take the anticoagulants to stop the clotting and what have you, they'll have this cyborg cow heart, and it'll work out a lot better with it.
Huh. Wow. So we have bionic arms, legs. I want eyes now.
They have them. It was.
We talked about it. Remember?
Bionic eye. Yeah, that's right. We have a bionic eye. No, I mean like a real bionic eye. No, that one. I actually haven't read more into that, but I don't know if they've gone to testing for like more colors other than just white light. So, man. So soon enough, it's going to be like Deus Ex. So let's just hope we're not augmenting our bodies for the hell of it. Here, chop off my arm. I want one of these.
I'm going to do it.
I would. I totally would.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. All right. Well, this weekend, I think the Steam sale is still going to be going on, right?
Yeah, we're still keeping an eye out on a couple of games.
I don't know if I want to buy anything more.
Oh, I want to buy them all.
You got to buy them all. Yeah.
Want to buy them all.
Have you guys noticed that the sales have been kind of lackluster recently, like the past few days?
There's been so many big AAA releases just recently came out that aren't on there because obviously they're so new, they still want to get the full money's worth,
right?
That they're just kind of stuck with doing games that are almost a year old or more, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I've been seeing. Like, we're waiting for Star Trek to drop because you heard about the Star Trek game being kind of crappy, but still fun to play. I don't want to pay $15 for it, honestly. I know that sounds cheap, but I really don't. I like Star Trek a lot, but I know there's a lot of game problems with that, so I'm looking at buying that still. But I bought this game called Remember Me, so I think I'm going to be playing that this weekend, and a bunch of other games.
Yeah,
but that one's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think the problem with me is I pretty much own all the games that I wanted right now. And so there's only a couple. I already picked up Ease 1 and 2. That went on sale the first couple of days, and I grabbed that up, and I grabbed a couple other games.
What Ease did you do a review on? Was that
it was Origin is the one I did.
Oh, Origin. What was that basically? Was that just a random number, or is it?
I get it's the prequel, I guess, to the whole series. So
Okay.
yeah, I picked up that 1 and 3 in the last sale, and then 1 and 2 I just picked up the other day.
Oh, okay.
So
Right
might
on.
be starting on that pretty soon.
Huh.
I'll probably be playing Lost Odyssey though. I'm wanting to get into that. Like I've heard it's a pretty long game, so I want to try to get through it.
It'll make you cry, man.
It's already pretty depressing.
It's so depressing. It's a book. You seriously, like, you read pages out of his life, and it's so depressing.
Yeah,
So,
I'm like 2
so
hours
depressing.
in it already, and I'm like, man, this is heavy stuff.
Yeah. Feel like you're watching one of them sad Disney movies where they kill off your favorite character. No. or the first 10 minutes of Up. That's what it makes you go through.
I don't know. I don't think anything's more depressing than that one.
I don't know. The ending of Toy Story 3 was pretty depressing.
Yeah,
Like-
but not as depressing as the first 10 minutes of Up. Seriously. I'm not going to spoil Up for anybody that's never watched it before, but Jesus. But so, gaming this weekend, that's pretty much all we're going to be doing. Then also we're going to be doing a show on the 2nd, so make sure you guys listen to that one.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it for the show. You can follow me on Twitter, even though I haven't been using it. Actually, just like our Facebook. Just seriously, we post everything on Facebook. I use Twitter every once in a while, but you can follow me at mbufftes. Chris is
I'm at C2TES.
no, you're not. No, make sure you subscribe to us on iTunes, and we're supposed to be doing more stuff with our YouTube, hopefully. I've been kind of lazy with that. So, Derek, thank you for being on our show. It was fun to have you. Hopefully we can have you again. I don't know, we didn't have a lot to talk about, so.
Well, it's okay. I'm glad I finally could get on the show.
Well, we'll have you on again. Thanks, everyone, for listening. We'll see you next time.